What happens when the voice of God is not a whisper of love, but a weapon of deception? When Scripture is not a sanctuary, but a snare? In this episode, we peel back the veil on a love story born in pews and prayer, but ended in shadows and blood. A story where faith was manipulated, hearts were undone, and a woman, pregnant, betrayed, and broken, was left alone to face the silence. This is the haunting unraveling of Ashley Palmer, and the man who said heaven ordained their bond, until he vanished, until she shattered, until one soul never walked away. This is Heartstrings and Handcuffs. In the quiet hollows of Andalusia, Alabama, where hymns floated like mist and Sunday mornings felt sacred, lived Ashley Palmer, a woman of quiet faith, of routine, of reverence. Then came Gilbright Theodore, the new pastor, with words that flowed like prophecy, and eyes that looked through you like glass. He didn't speak to her soul. He claimed it, told her God had revealed their destiny, that she was chosen, that their love was divine. And when a man speaks with the certainty of Scripture, how can a believer say no? But even heaven has its eclipses. Gilbright's words slowed. His warmth faded. The gaze that once saw eternity now seemed distracted. Late-night calls turned secret. His phone always locked. His embrace a ghost of itself. Ashley prayed harder, listened longer, hoped that silence was just the devil's trick. But deep down, she knew, the man who once stood on the pulpit of her heart was hiding something unholy. One afternoon, her faith was crucified. She followed him, not in vengeance, but for truth. And there he was, arms around another woman, a kiss that wasn't stolen, but familiar, a home that wasn't his or hers, a ring on that woman's finger. Ashley didn't scream. She didn't run. She stood silent as the illusion unraveled. That morning, a pink line on a test had whispered new life. By evening, she stood outside a stranger's house, carrying the child of a man who called her sacred, while sleeping in another woman's bed. A double life, a false prophecy, and a child born of betrayal. She met him the next day, not as the woman who once believed in him, but as the shell of everything he destroyed. Ashley, softly, "You said God sent me to you, that we were chosen. Now you leave me? With your child?" He stammered. Excuses. Cowardice cloaked in Scripture. "Gilbright, I was confused. It's complicated." "Ashley, no, it was sacred, and you used it." She didn't raise her voice. She lowered her hope, and in that moment, something inside her snapped. He turned away. She reached into her bag. A letter opener, small, ornate, innocuous, until it wasn't. One thrust, one gasp, one preacher, bleeding on the same steps where he once called her God's will. What began in worship, ended in silence. "Detective, Ashley, why did you do it?" Ashley, barely audible. "Because I believed him. I believed God sent me to him. And he left me, with a child. And lies." There was no rage, no denial, only the sound of something precious, forever broken. The trial lit fire to a nation's conscience. To some, she was a victim, a woman weaponized by a man who wore holiness like armor. To others, she was a killer, driven not by pain, but pride. Was she broken or dangerous? The jury wrestled with the line between faith and fury, between betrayal and blood. Can love, when corrupted by divine deception, truly drive someone to kill? Was this an act of heartbreak, or prophecy shattered? Let us know in the comments. If stories like this haunt you, if you're drawn to the blurred line between devotion and destruction, then subscribe to Heartstrings and Handcuffs, because sometimes the holiest words hide the darkest intentions, and sometimes love doesn't save, it kills.